this so that I can send you the recording after that.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, perfect. So to import your Google Classrooms, you need to click on the plus button here and go to create class. And here, because I logged in with my Google credentials, it identifies me and it sees that I have Google Classroom and I can import them. So it provides me with this blue button here that I can now press, and it gives me all my Google Classrooms, which I only have one. It's like a sample classroom to demo for everybody. And so, yeah. So, but if you have more, then you can check mark them all and it will import all your classes. So I'm going to check mark one and I'm going to do import. And of course, It's going to show up here on the top. And what you are going to get is, first of all, you're going to get here, I want to take you to members. And so you see here all the students. For some reason, it takes some of my students and put them up there. I don't know, that's something that has to do with Google, not Project Pal's fault. And, and so it lists here all the students, and there it goes. Now, in the classroom, you also have a section that's called assignments, where you'll be able to assign project to your students and projects. Let me just go out of this account, because that's the only purpose for this account, is just to show you how to import. And let me take you to, okay. So now after you import your Google Classroom, you probably have already a project, or maybe you don't, but I'm just going to show you how now you will take a project and you will assign it to a class. So let's say that I want to take, I want to go to the catalog and I'm going to select a project that I would like to assign it to a class. In this case, maybe I'm going to take, you know what? I'm going to take the project that you actually picked, and I'm going to clone it. And now it's going to tell me go to the project. And here there is a button that says assign to class. Okay. Now you right now are already in the permanent account, because I made sure that our development team, so you have access already to the Project Pulse catalog, is that correct?
Yeah, I actually haven't signed into the new account yet. Okay. I'm gonna do that later today. Actually, to be honest with you, Miriam, I just found the email in all of my all my classes are sending me email from Google Classroom. So
you froze. The recording. Oops. Okay. So so here is basically what I was saying is so this is the project that I just cloned, and I now have a button that says assign to class. When I click on the assign to class, then I'm getting a list of all my classes. And I'm now going to select a class where I want to assign it to. I'm going to just select robotics, because here I don't have yet this project. Okay. So I'm going to select this. And then once I select a class, then it gives me two options: to create teams from that I am assigning the teams ahead of time. And the other option is to basically, I will not create the teams. I will delegate to my students. So let me just show you the option of creating a team. So once I create teams, I press that button and now it gives me a list of my students. And now I will start teaming up the students in teams. And I will now, and once I finished all the teams, I will press the finish and assign.
I put it in my phone and it won't work either. Hit the count and I got
And when I do this, then it gives me here 4 teams that I just created. I created 4 teams with their names and everything, and that shows up under my robotics class under projects. So all students need to do at this point, they need to just log in, come to the class, to this class, and come to projects, and they will find their project and will be able to start working. The other option is, and let me just go back to the Project Pulse catalog. The other option is that I'm just going to take any project here. Let's say I'm going to take this one and I'm going to just clone it. Or the other option, of course, and I'm sure that you did not see that there are 2 more options to creating projects. In addition to cloning a project from the catalog, you can actually create a project from scratch. That's the other option. And the third option is to use the project wizard. So because in the catalog, we have a series of single tabs of projects that are just 1 tab long that can be mixed and matched in different ways so that it fits whatever custom project you are trying to plan for your class. And so let me just show you how that works. So when I'm in my drafts, I'm pressing the plus button. And now I'm going to type here, I'm going to just call it test. And then I can describe here, this project is about something. And then I'm going to click OK. And here I will add an image. So to add an image, you just open a new tab and go to Google. And I'm going to just put in here project. And I'm going to look for images on Google. And I'm going to pick one of these images, whichever. And I'm going to right click and go to copy image address. And now when I go back to my project here, I can insert the URL here by pasting it and then just click go, or I can search for it on my hard drive. And now I click OK. And here are these options. So if I am doing a project from scratch, I'm going to choose the blank option. But if I want to use our 1-tab templates to build a project for my students, I can do that. So it gives me here 4 sample templates that I can use to start the project. So let's say that I want to start a project with a brainstorm. So I'm going to select the brainstorm template. Now I want to add another phase. And now I'm going to go to the more templates here. And I'm going to look and I'm going to say, well, okay, what do I want? What type of project do I want to do? Let's say that I want to do an innovation, actually, and I'm finding out that actually I have a brainstorm for innovation here. So I'm going to click on it and I'm going to press save. And later I will remove the other brainstorm because I don't need it anymore. So now I will add another phase. And I'm going to go again, and I don't find anything related to the innovation here. So I'm going to click on the more templates. And here I have innovation. Let's see, innovation after research. No, sorry, innovation. I selected the innovation research instead of the brainstorm. Doesn't matter. Okay, so now after that, I'm going to select the innovation design. And let's say that that's all I need. Now I'm going to press finish. And here it is. It created for me 3 tabs exactly as I selected. So the first one is basically a brainstorm about what to innovate about. And then the second tab is research. And here, there's students are going to do all kinds of research about whether this is the good idea, whether this is the only, maybe there are other ideas in the market like this. I mean, whatever. So you have the whole template here ready for you to use to do an innovation research. And then the last one is how to design your innovation. So basically it gives you, again, everything you need for that. And so, so let me show you where it shows up, where it is. So it is now showing up next to the plus button in your drafts. Here is that project that you just created from with the wizard. So let's say that I want to assign this to the class, but this time, instead of me setting up the teams ahead of time, I'm going to delegate. And so I'm going to click on the assign to class. I'm going to select again my robotics class, but this time I'm going to say skip teams and assign.
Because you already got the team assigned, right?
So the first was for a different project. And
okay,
that was when you did it ahead of time. But the second one, I'm showing you what happens if you are not going to set the teams, your students will.
Okay, perfect.
That's what I'm showing you now. I'm showing you the case in which you are giving them independence. You're telling them, you know what? You come up with the teams. Now here, once you assigned it, it shows up in assignments, not in projects like the previous one. The previous one showed up all in projects because you already set it up. You already put the teams and everything. This one will show up in assignments. Here is my test project that I just created. And now this is where your role ends and your student's role starts. And again, there are two situations here. Situation number one is that you are going to assign it to every single student. In that case, every single student will have to come to the class, go to assignments and press the start button. But if this is not for every single student, then only the team leader should do this. Only one person in the team should do this, and that person should be the team leader. And so let's say that we are assigning it for a team. Now I'm going to sign out for a minute, and let me see who I have here so I can log in as them. And okay. And I'm going to now log out and log in as a student. Okay. And I'm gonna now go to that robotics class and go to assignments. And here is that project. And I can now press the start button. And it tells me if you are part of a group, only the group leader should do this. So I understand that.
Okay.
And now it gives me a list of all my classmates. And here is where I can now select who else is gonna work with me. And I'm gonna press confirm. And now this is the project. It opens up the project for me. But just so you see what happened in the robotics class, now under projects, that is showing up with the person who is logged in, Elizabeth, and with the person she also added here. So when she comes in here to project, she will find the project. I mean, Darren, who she picked to work with her, will find the project and will be able to start working. Okay, so that's
beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the other way. So one way is you assign it ahead of time. The other way, the team leader assigns it and picks the other people who are going to work with him or her. And the third way, of course, is if every single student is doing this, then you assign it to and then they start the project. I don't see the point for that. Maybe if I were you, I would probably assign, if this is an individual project, I would assign it myself and that's it. But that option exists anyway.
That's good to know. Yeah, but I think I would be assigning them myself, knowing my students.
Perfect. All right. So let me log out of the student account and log back into my account. And all right, so here we go. Now, let's just go into the application. But you know what, maybe in order for you to see everything that exists in the project, I'm going to take you to my science class here, and I'm going to go into a completed project.
Perfect.
And this is the products in motion. Okay, so products in motion was a project. The project idea is that students need to create a transport system, the same as Amazon is using in its fulfillment centers. I don't know if you know, but they have a robot that's called the Kiva. And the Kiva is transporting merchandise from place to place in their fulfillment centers. And so what students are, the goal of this project is for them to design something like that, not before they understand how simple machines work and what is the physics behind simple machines. And also they need to understand how the fulfillment centers in Amazon are working. And based on that knowledge, they need to then use whether Lego Mindstorms, the EV3 sets, or any other type of robotic sets to build their transport system. So let me take you to the workspace. And so in the project that you actually started using, they don't have these advanced computational thinking tools. But this project,
I'm noticing that.
Yeah. But this project does. So that's why I'm using this. So here, you see that there are many tabs on the top, of course. And I told you that it has to start with first understanding the physics behind simple machines, and then what are simple machines and how they work. And then the fulfillment center of Amazon, and then they start designing their own. And so here, so the first tool that we have is the content library tool, which I'm going to focus on in a minute. And then of course the text tool, which you already know, and the media tool, which I'm sure you already encountered. And but this tool is one of our computational thinking tools. So what is computational thinking? So computational thinking is, I think I explained it to you in my demo. Is that correct?
You give me a brief description, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So like I said, we have three ways that we are actually addressing computational thinking in Project Pause. One of them is by breaking down the project into these different phases or tabs. That's one way. The other way, of course, is using our tools, our computational thinking tools. And one of them is the component tool. And the idea behind it is that in a project, you identify what are the main parts that you actually need to understand about in order to solve the problem that you have at hand. So if, for example, somebody assigned you a project about, please do a project about photosynthesis, for you to understand how the entire process works, you need to first identify, okay, so what participates in photosynthesis? So you see that, oh, the plant participates. Plant is a main factor. So plant should have a component by itself. And then the sun, but not everything about the sun, of course, only what's related to the process of photosynthesis. And then water, I mean, water is important, of course. Also that, again, only what's related to photosynthesis. And then there's carbon dioxide, that one too. So you have to make like a component for each of those and basically do research and find out all their characteristics, because knowing those things will help you then come up with a process, kind of understand what is going on in this process. And so that's exactly the purpose of these components. And so in this case, their goal is to understand how simple machines work. And so they are going to do a component about force, and the student will go and do research about it and write down everything they know about it in very short sentences. Again, as I told you before, the big advantage of this is that in these short sentences, it's easier to remember for the student and also easier to comprehend. And number three, it is also very helpful for collaboration, because it's easy for other team members to read what the other students did. And if they have some comments, they need to weigh in. They want to add more characteristics here. They think that it wasn't complete. All that stuff, they can do it really easily and contribute and collaborate.
Yeah.
How to do a component? Just click on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th tool, and then you type in here the name, and then you add an image. To add an image is the same way, like I said before, like I showed you when we added an image to the project. You just go on Google, you do a search, you find the image that you need, you click in the center, and here it gives you the option of either uploading the image from your computer, pasting a URL, or you actually want to use a project media that already exists and reuse that. So these options are all open to you. Now, to see what's happening inside, I'm just going to edit one of these. And when you click here on the three dots, you have all the context menus. And here you, so this is the name, like I said, the image. And then when you go next, you see these branches are all these text that are showing up here. So you can actually, for each item in this component, you can add a relevant image that relates to it, the same way we did before, and type in a text, type in one of those characteristics of what force it is. And then you can add more items by pressing the add item on the bottom. And you can also add additional supporting media. So if you have more than just this image, you also want to add maybe a G Suite file or anything else that supports what you're saying here, you can do that. And so in the end, when you finished, this is how it looks. And if you have more than 6 items, then you will get arrows that you can scroll through the whole series of characteristics. And there is no limit to how many you can add. The only thing is that it only will display 6 of them at a time.
Okay.
So these are the components. Now, when we move on, we are moving on, and now they are delving deep into what simple machines are. So again, they are doing a component for each of those, for the lever, for the wheels and axles. So and you see here we have more than 6, so you have those arrows up and down that can help you scroll through the entire thing. As you see, we also support GIFs, so you can put GIFs in here. And the next one, it continues about simple machines because there's more to work more. And then finally, we are moving on to the fulfillment center to Amazon. Yeah. So here, this is a tour of the fulfillment system. So the next computational thinking tool that we have is the events tool. So if the component basically is actually dealing with the main parts of a project, the events is dealing with the processes, with major processes that are important for you to understand and in order to solve the problem that you're trying to solve. So in the case that I gave you before with the photosynthesis, the events probably is going to describe the whole process, how the process of photosynthesis happens. Step by step, you will describe it. These are all the steps here. And step by step, you will start describing each step, how that happens, what's going on. And so in this case, because we are dealing with the fulfillment center of Amazon, here their students are going to describe step by step how that works, how this whole fulfillment center works in Amazon. And what's great about this tool is that there are 3 views. This is the default view, which shows all the steps, and you can scroll through the steps by clicking on the arrows and going back. And the other one is the gallery view. And the gallery view shows the images big and the text underneath really small. And when you click on it, it actually opens it up in a very big window. We are about to add a video here. So you can put not just images, but videos, short videos.
Oh,
and so just cool. Imagine that they are doing a robotics project or anything that they want to record every step of what they're doing. They can do that and put a video to show what they did. And so here you can scroll through the images and show exactly what happens in this process like this. And finally, one of the great advantages also of the event tool is that you can also record timelines. So if you are doing a social studies project, history, anything, then, and let's say that dates are relevant, you can do that. Now, how do you do that? So I'm going to click to edit this item. So I'll show you how that looks. It's very similar to the components tool. You have the name, only in this case, this is a method, something that, you know, a process. So in this case is the fulfillment system, how it works. And then you add an image the same way you did before. And then here, instead of items, you have steps. And so each of these are steps. And you have the options of adding a date. So here, when you click on time here, you can add a date. You need to type it. You don't get a calendar, because here we wanted to allow users to even put in things like 400 AD or 500 BC or something like that.
Okay.
And here, let me take you to another one here. Here you can, let's say that I want to, you know, I want to put in here, which area are you in Honduras? What is
Well,
the name?
I'm on the north coast of Honduras. The city is called Sabah.
Sabah.
S-A-B-A.
Okay, so Sabah, I'm going to type in Honduras. And so here it is. It just found it. This is Google Maps. And I'm going to press save. And here are the coordinates. It put the coordinates in here. So now when I press save, I can go now and I can click on here and go to the maps. And now I have 3 locations already mapped here. And let's see. And I have Sabah here for you. And here is that step that happens in your location.
Beautiful.
And you can also look at the other locations and look what happens in each of them. So this is very powerful in terms of doing those timelines and with locations and everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's that. All right, so you see additional things that you see here, the questions tool. I don't know if you are already familiar with that. I'm sure that we have it in the other project. Is that correct?
Yeah, the questions are on the other project, yeah.
Okay, so it's really, the questions tool is 1, 2, 3, 4. It's the 4th tool here. And really to create a question, you just click on it and it gives you an empty question and you can resize it or not resize it and start typing. So this is really easy. Now, anything and everything in Project Pulse can be archived, basically is archived. So whatever you are going to remove from the workspace is going to be archived and not disappear permanently. So if you need to restore it, you are coming to the content library, and which I'm going to show in a minute to you, and you switch to show archive. And here you see that here's the question that I just archived, and I can restore it. So here it is, it just restored it for me.
Okay, now so we can actually reuse question as we go along, or different items.
So this is just things that were deleted from the archive. But reusing, you can reuse anything. So for example, let's say that you want to reuse this to add more questions, but you don't want to use the question tool, you just want to copy. So you go to here, you right click and you say create copy. So it creates a copy for you, it's already resized, you know that, and all you have to do is just to highlight and type another question instead. And it creates for you a unique version. It's not gonna change your original. This is going to be a completely unique one, and that's it. Okay. So yeah, so that's really easy. So that's, and every object, by the way, can be copied. So this event can be copied, the text can be copied, everything can be copied. It has the 3-dot menu here that allows everything to create a copy.
Okay.
Now, the other tool that we have that you see here, you see a big image, and then you see these little, I should say icons, focus icons with a name on it. So this is our annotation tool. And the annotation tool, the purpose of it is many times you have an image that you want kind of delve deep into what it shows and kind of focus on some phenomena in it. So let's say maybe the best example I can give you is when you when you have a heart and the structure of a heart, and you want to show how each chamber functions and how the arteries are working. And then you just put one of these and you say, instead of here, when there, you put it on top of the heart and you say left ventricle or right ventricle. And then when somebody clicks inside, then you can put here either a video or an image and an explanation. And so, you know, you have that big image, the big image suddenly becomes live because you have this little thing, you know, this annotation that you can click on, and it will show you, even with a video, will show you how that works and an explanation how what's happening. So that's the main goal of the annotation. In this case, I used it to show the entire process of how the transport system works. So here, this is what happens with the vendor and then the inventory and then the storage and order and all that stuff. Sorry. Okay, so that's the annotation tool. How to create an annotation? Several ways. One way to create an annotation is, let's say you have text on the workspace and you can turn it, you can right click on the text here and you can go convert to annotation. What that's going to do, it's going to put the text here on the bottom. And then you can add an image or a video and you can type a title for it and place it wherever you want. You also have a place here on the tools palette to do an annotation from scratch. You can click on it and then it opens it up. You type a title here and then you put an image or a video here and you type a text that explains it. You can even change the colors of that annotation to whatever. It doesn't have to be blue, could be any color that you pick. And if you don't want to see this little target icon, then you can just say show label only. And then it's only going to show this, but it's not going to show that target. Many times you just want to use that. Okay. All right. Yeah. So that's that. So let's see what else I missed. I think that the only part that this project does not have, and so here, as you see, they start building their own, using their Lego Mindstorms to actually describe the parts that they will need for the structure, for what they're building. And then they even import the methodologies of how to build beams, how to build land motors. All these are going to help them. Finally, they are going to actually design it, and they will describe it as a step-by-step using the annotations, or they can use here, in this case, they can use the events tool. Both are options. So in this case, they can show it in the events tool like this, how they built every step and how they added more and more. And or they can use the annotations one by one, step 2. So these are both options that are available. Of course, you can import videos and videos will play in the application. It opens up a YouTube video. So YouTube videos you can use and you can start playing it. And of course, the only thing that from here, from the tools that I did not mention yet is the analysis styles. And let me take you to something that will show you how the analysis styles are working. And for that purpose, I'm going to go to the catalog and I'm going to go to the single tab templates. And I'm going to pick the, where is it? Maybe cause and effect, and I'm going to clone this. And now here's the project. I'm going to go into the workspace. And here you have, these are our analysis styles. I think you have it in your project as well. So analysis styles, basically like the question tiles, have a label that frames what is being said above it. So you know that here you should expect a problem defined because it tells you the cause. And on the other side, here you have effect. You know that what you're supposed to find here is an effect of something. And so this is a template for a cause and effect template. That how do you do that? The analysis style is the third tool from the bottom. When you click on it, then the 3 default ones are problem, solution, and evidence. But it allows you to do custom ones. So you can type in here whatever you want. If you want to call this, I don't know, reason, then you can type reason. It's going to create tiles for you for reason. And whatever. I created here the cause and the effect, which I'm using here in this template. And so so what you do is when you let me just do this. Let me edit one of these. And so what you do is you already have the label, and here you're going to type the cause. What is the cause of something? So whatever you're working on, you're going to type the cause here. And instead of this, whatever it says here, instead of that, it's going to come up with a real cause, and you'll be able to show a phenomena. Students, our experience shows that students really love this because it focuses their attention. They know what to write here and what is expected of them. And it also, it creates kind of a, it makes it clear for them, makes what's happening very clear. So that's the analysis styles tool. Okay, so the last thing that I want to show you, and let me go back to that innovation celebration project that I showed you before. And let's say that I now want to use all these simple machines, and I want to do a report, kind of a compare and contrast of their characteristics next to each other. Okay, and so I'm going to create a new tab here, and I'm going to say, okay, I want to reuse the information that's in there, in those components. So what I can do, and I can go to the content library now, and I will go, and these are the latest additions to this project. And when this and as you see, it shows you also the type of what was added, whether it was text or event or whatever, shows you here. This is about the recent. Once this overflows, then it goes to by category. So all the text boxes will be here, and all the questions will be here, and components will be here. And by the way, the colors that you're seeing, it actually reflects the color that the student has around their image on the right side. So this, if I am opening this, it's created by me, okay? But if I'm opening this one, then this was created by Jonathan. So it tells you, the color tells you who created what, okay? And now let's say that I want to use one of these components that were created, and I want to use the pulley. And I have 2 options. Option number 1 is that I drop the whole thing. I can do that. So I can reuse now the pulley, I can open it up and everything. But let's say that that's not what I want. I want to actually create a comparison between their characteristics. I can do that because now I can go to that, and I can go to the pulley and open it up. And on the bottom, I see it's 3 characteristics. So let's say that I say, oh, I want this one because this is relevant to my comparison. I click on it, and it says copy to workspace as text box. So it copies it as a text box, that characteristic. And I can put a title for the table here. Now I can go to another one, to another of these, and I can go to the components, and next to the wheels and axles. And here are all the characteristics. And let's say that this is relevant also. I'm going to click on it, and it's going to drop this for me. And now I have that here. So you don't have to redo information, because information that's created can be repurposed like this. So you can make a whole comparison table or whatever you want to do with it. or whatever you want to reuse it in any way, you can do that. So the content library, like I said, is very, very powerful because you can reuse. Let's say that you want to use any of the, I don't know, any of the steps in a event. I can do exactly the same thing. Copy to the workspace. Again, it copies that step. So whatever you choose to do, you can do that. Now, let's say that I want to comment on something that the student did. And so first of all, every object has these three dots. That's the context menu. And one of the things they have is the ability to show history. So when you click on the show history, it will show you what each student did at what time and exactly what they did, which image they added, what text they typed, whether there was a collaboration, whether this was only done by one student or was done in collaboration. The whole history of everything that was done is going to be here on every object. So that's that. Now let's say that you want to comment on any of this. So you click on that's one option to use that. But the other option is here. There's a little icon. When you click on it, it opens that window. And you can say wonderful, or I don't know, whatever you want to say, and press on it. Let's take one that, because these are all replies, or maybe, okay. Wait, I'm gonna press comment. Okay, so there is a problem here, which I'm going to report to our development team because a number was supposed to show up saying that there is a comment here and that didn't show up again.
The little red number, right? The little red bubble. Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the commenting option. You also so that's basically this. Now on the lower side, on the lower left area, we have a whole series of buttons. One of them is the arrow. The arrow enables you to move multiple objects at once. When you click on the arrow, then you can click and drag over multiple objects and you can start moving them together.
Okay.
And let's say that your students finish this, the project is done and you want to present it. Next to the arrow is the presentation mode. And presentation mode turns it into something that looks like a PowerPoint. And you have arrows. So students can hit, this is the first tab. They will start talking about it, showing it off to and explaining what they did. And then they move on to the next tab. And it will show the next tab and they will start talking about this one. So this can turn into a whole presentation.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I love it.
And then next to the presentation mode, you have a plus, you have a zoom. You can zoom into something and then you can zoom out of it and you can then zoom back to normal. Now, we also have the project dashboard. The project dashboard is separate than the workspace. And we have gotten a lot of comments from teachers and from others that they would like to see everything in one place. And we actually listened and we are in the process of moving everything there. So in the project dashboard, this is the description of the project. When you click on the pencil, then you can start typing up here the description and changing it if you want. On the right side, you see the pie chart that shows up for students there, where they see now, they see how much work they did. This is an amazing motivator. This is really pushing them to succeed. And then we also have, I don't know, you guys are using standards. You have something like that?
We do use the American curriculum system. So yeah, we do work with standards. Yeah.
Okay. So if you use standards, then you click on the plus button, and that actually, you know, you choose the type of standard that you want, and you choose the, you know, whether it's going to be English language, and you are going to select the grade level, and then you are going to select which one apply. And, you know, and in the end, when you finished, you know, checking every one that applies, you press the save button, and they will show up like this, as you see here. Supporting materials. Now, I'm just going to show you all these. We have supporting materials, we have tasks. So supporting materials, there's already 2 supporting materials. Again, it's very easy. Press the plus button. I don't know what is the point for me to show you this, because we are actually moving this. In a minute, I'm going to show you where we are moving it. But, you know, just so that you know that it also exists, until we publish everything there, I'm going to show you. So basically,
perfect. All this information is great, because I need to know whenever a student asks a question also, right?
Right. So here, you can add the following types of resources. This is a web link. This is a website. So you can add a website by pasting the URL. You can add from your hard drive, if you have PDFs or anything else, you can browse on the hard drive and also add from there. So you can add the following type of files. You can add websites, you can add PDFs, you can add YouTube videos, you can add MP3 files that will not exceed 50 megabytes. You can add any G Suite file and any Office 365 file. Only the ones that are web-based of Office 365, not the Office, the regular Office that people used to use. So those can be all added here. And then tasks. Tasks, until now, we had something that was called something like the Kanban board. And so this is where, when you click on the plus button, you will type up what is the task, who will do it. There's going to be a drop down with the student's name, like you see here. So you select the student, you can select one or multiple students to do a task. You select the urgency, how urgent this is, medium, high, critical. You select the due date. Here you can go and select the due date, and you will type a short description of what needs to be done. You can assign tasks, or the students can assign it to themselves. This is something that both of you can do. And then you press the add button, and then it's going to do this. And once you have this whole series of tasks, then when you finish the to-do, when they start working, they are going to move it here. And then once they finished, they are going to move it to done. And this is how that works. But we are changing everything, and I'm going to show you in a minute. Now let me go to the statistics. And the statistics page, this is something that only you can see. While the students can see that pie chart that I showed you before, they cannot see this detailed analytics. You only the one that can see it, the teacher. So here you can see how many actions they did, and each student has a color. So you see that, you know, Benjamin, Elizabeth, all of them have a color. And when you can see on each of these places how many actions they did that day, and so on. You can switch to sessions, how many sessions in and out they had, how many collaborations they did. In collaboration, I already told you, that means that they have worked on the same object together. You know, like, for example, if one student created the component, the other students read it and said, you know what, I think you forgot a characteristic, and they will add it to it. That is considered collaboration. If they are commenting on each other's objects, that is considered collaboration. We also had in the past a chat, and we removed it because we got too many comments that it is a distraction. But we are reinstating it, and we are going to make the default to be that it's not showing up. But I will show you in a minute how you can actually, if you want your students to use it, how you can actually turn it on. And then how much time they spent in the system, and average sessions, and so on. You have the same information in a format table, in a table format, like here. And you also have those pie charts that your students had. You have it here. And on the left side, you have how many of each of the object types they did. So how many text boxes and how many images. If one student only adds images, then you know that there's a problem. And so here it shows you what each student did, you know. And so, but get ready for this. So if I'm going to the workspace now, we are actually moving everything from the dashboard. We are moving to the right side menu, to here. So we already have some of it done. So here is the project details that I showed you before in the dashboard. Now it's going to look like this. You can change the image, you can change the name, you can change the project description, and so on. Each tab has its own instructions. You also have instructions, and this is available for every tab. Every tab has a different instructions box. So this is tab based, only in the instructions. Supporting materials, the one I showed you before that you can add supporting materials. You can add materials like this. You know, here you can either insert or you can drag it from the hard drive.
Nice. So it's basically like an extra accessibility tool, right? Makes it just easier.
So it's not extra. It's not extra. The dashboard will disappear. So we are still working on it. And let's say that you want to see the analytics. You click on this, and it opens up a big window, and all that analytics that I showed you before, you can see it now. Okay. So yes, so everything moves here to the right side because we want to make it easier for everybody, make it more user-friendly. The reason this is not, we did not make the dashboard disappear yet is because we don't have yet the tasks. It's in work, and we don't have the standards yet finished. But once we have everything finished, then everything is going to be published here. And by the way, when students are going to be logging in, and when they press analytics, they will see only that pie chart. When you log in as a teacher and you press the analytics, you will see this whole thing.
Everything, yeah.
So that's how it's going to be. That's how it's going to be. The distinction is going to be made between those. Yeah, so that's basically Project Pals. I think that I explained everything to you, I hope. Yeah, it looks like I told everything.
I feel ready now, Miriam. Thank you.
Oh, good, perfect. Now I'm going to, when we finish this meeting, the recording will actually be processed, and then I'm going to send it to you. And if you forgot something, you can always revisit the video. In addition to that, I sent you a sign up and sign in links email. Is that correct?
Yes, I found it. I haven't actually done it yet, but I will get that done today, later this afternoon, but later this evening once I'm at home. I'm going to go in and do this.
Okay.
Sign up and do all of the processes.
So you don't. I don't think you don't need to sign up. All you need is to sign in, because now you're going to sign in. Yeah, because you already are signed up through the free trial thing. But now when you log in, you're going to log into your permanent account.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah, and so yeah, so in that email that I sent you with the sign up and sign in links, there is also a link to our YouTube resources, and there is a whole series of short training videos. So let's say that you don't want to go through this long video that I'm going to send you. There are short videos that are, let's say you forgot how to import a class. There is a video that says import a class, and you can find that. And that I think that the shortest video is 1 minute and the longest is 7 minutes. So that's, you can always go by functionality and see how things work from there.
Perfect. Sounds good.
Yeah. Okay. That's about it. And and, you know, enjoy using Project Pulse. And that's it.
I would definitely do so. And I just want to mention also that our school we have a robotics class subject, and we have been participating in the Lego League for the past, well, the last two events. We actually won Best Robot, and we won Best Project Presentation with the junior teams. Just so we do have some things in common.
So let me show you something. I'm just coming out with this project. This is a repository project, a project repository, a robotics repository that students, as they learn these things, they start writing about how to handle beams, for example. So there's components for beams, and instead of this, they will write out the characteristics of how to handle beams, or axles, or pins, how to use beams. They will step by step describe it, how to use axles, pins, all these things. Then they will move on to motors, how to use the motors. Again, so this is, while they are learning, they are describing it step by step like this. And then any project that they will do, they will come in here and immediately reuse this. You know, they can also import, by the way, I didn't tell you, but actually from the content library, you can import things out to another project. So let's say that now they have another project that needs all these things, needs to know how to use the large motor or how to use the medium motor. And they will you will be able to export it to the other project and have it there and immediately know what to do. And this goes on throughout the whole thing, you know, with the sensors, sound blocks, display block, the programming, everything. Including EV3 math, you know, like how to calculate the rotational speed of a motor, or how to calculate the threshold value of the light sensor. I mean, everything is in here. And I did not publish it yet, but this is coming out very soon.
Cool, definitely cool.
Just wanted you to know. All right, perfect. So enjoy. And if you don't mind, I will sometimes revisit, you know, with an email asking you how you're doing.
Of course. I expect that, Miriam.
All right, perfect. All right. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much for your time. And I am looking forward to use this project and eventually expand it in the school as we go along during the rest of the year. So I'm sure we'll be working with more students before we can even imagine. Okay.
Wonderful. I saw that you guys have a very great medical school there in your city. Maybe you can recommend us to them.
It might be in Tegucigalpa. So I can look around and see, ask around, because I was going to ask you about how can I help if there's anyone that needs attention or any use of Project Pal here in Honduras. I'll be happy to be
Perfect.
That connection and help out and do whatever I need to do to get this going, because I think this is the future. And I think everyone should be using this right now, to be honest with you.
If you can get us another client, I am willing to give you 10% of the licensing fee for the first year.
Perfect, sounds good. I will definitely socialize this with a few other teachers that I know, and we'll see what we can do for sure, okay?
Perfect, thank you so much.
Thank you, Miriam. You're excellent. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.